We're going to look at one of my favorite tools, and that comes from the Vector Studio section. It's the transparency tool. So if you hover over here, you might not see it. It might be showing you the full tool. If you go look there, transparency tool, it's part of the Vector section. If you don't have it in your other studios, you can take it from the main menu, click these three buttons, and drag it across. What I've done is, for example, under my Pixel Studio, you see, I've brought it across here also because I kind of do use it a lot. But if you're using this, what it in essence does is almost what a mask does. So if you have an object and you do a mask over it, and then you create a gradient on that mask, then parts of that image or those text things on there is going to be transparent and the other is going to be opaque. Okay, so that is creating something with masks. But in this case, the transparency tool does that for you with just using nodes as you create. So let me show you, for example, and the reason that I want to show you this is some of these things, when you try it, the transparency tool out, it doesn't seem to want to work. And I'll explain the reason why, but let me just show you what the transparency tool does. If I place an object here on the artboard, let's just to choose this object. If I place this over here and I go to the transparency tool, which is there, click on that, transparency tool, and I drag over here, you're going to see that it creates a transparency. And it has the same handles you can all function on them. And you can choose, whether you want linear or elliptical transparencies and all that sort of stuff with it. So it's a brilliant tool. Without you, if you look here, you're not having sort of mask layers and gradient masks and a whole lot of things here. It's a tool that gets put over here. But the reason why this works here now, and this is the important part to understand, is that this particular image resides inside of a container. So just to explain it more, in Affinity, when you're pulling in images or you're using text or you're generating AI images, very often it goes into a specific kind of container. So many people aren't aware of this. Even videos, when you have a video, there's footage, it's inside a certain container, and we call it, MP4 files or MOV files, but those are containers that have parameters in them. So if it's in a image, what we refer to as an image container, then when we apply this transparency, it applies it to the container and it affects what's inside it, which is, this case, is the image. Now, to us, we are just looking at a straight image, so we don't see containers per se. But if you go down to the layers here and you hover over this, you'll see it says image over there. Okay, so that's specifically indicating of the image. However, if you do this with certain other pictures or text that you bring on, it doesn't seem to operate the same. And this actual video is to explain why all of that is happening. But just to show you, that is the image container, and that was the transparency tool that I used there. Now, let me just show you different ways that we can get it in. So I can go and I can say place. So we're going to just place an object. So I place the object on here. And that's the object there. Then I'm going to take this object, keep control down, and just copy another example here. And this one here, now I'm going to right click on, and I'm going to rasterize it. Now I just want you to note here, on this side here, you'll see this image over here is also in an image container. But if I right click and I rasterize it, it will change this into a pixel container. In essence, the pixel container, it's almost like it takes it out of the container and just gives you the raw image. So you can't actually put an effect onto it like that. If you want to affect this now, you've got to create onto this layer, you've got to create a mask and a gradient or all those kind of things. Whereas if it's an image container, you could almost do it directly on it because it's not physically directly on it. It's acting on this container we call an image. But it's not, you only don't have pixel and image container. There are other types of containers, and some of them we can refer to as the text one. Now, it does exactly the same for the frame text tool. I'm going to just use artistic text. So I'm going to put artistic text here, and I'm going to say hello. So this, if you look at it, is text. If you hover over by the text, it says art text. But art text, as much as the image container, art text is a container into which these fonts actually act out. Hopefully I'm explaining it in the best way that I can. It's not to explain it technically, it's just to explain this container concept. The other one that we want to look at is if we generate an AI image, how does that fit into the whole scene, okay? But before I get there, I'm going to just introduce also ellipse tools. So if we click here, we have all different shapes and sizes. Maybe we'll choose the heart. Let's go and choose the heart and put the heart over here. There we go. Actually, it's in nice red color. That worked out well. So the heart, if we hover over in here, it says heart. But what it is actually is a vector container. It's just giving the name of the actual vector art here, because if I change that, it will call it on that name. But this is a container that contains the vector element also. So let's look at the first one. This one is image, it's a container. This one is text, it's a container. This one is vector, it's a container. This one we've rasterized, and it is a pixel base, so there's no container, it's just flat. So in our estimation, a transparency tool will work on this one. Will work on all of them except the pixel-based one. And again, if we wanted to influence the pixel-based one with transparencies, we'd have to create extra layers with masks and then work on that space. Okay. So I think there's another one that we need to address, which is new in this space. I'm going to just go to Canva AI Studio, and I'm going to generate an image here. Let's just do this as a maybe cup of coffee. And it's going to generate down here. Let me just see what proportions here. I'm going to click that. With the AI now, it generates a image, but it's an AI image that it's generating. And the question here I have in my mind is this going to be treated, an AI image, is it treated like an image container where the transparency tool can work on, or can you not do the transparency tool directly on it? For me, I've seen that it operates a little bit differently. Okay, so there's our lovely cup of coffee. So we're going to test it out now. So let's start off with this one, which is image. Now, we're going to go with transparency tool and draw on there. Boom, it works brilliantly. Can all the normal features of doing the transparency drag and that, if I have to now do anything else, maybe I'm going to just draw just for the sake of showing here. If we take a copy of this heart, I'm going to make a copy and I put it here. You're going to see I'm going to position it to the back. Let's put that to the back. There we go. Okay, so what's happening? This is at the back of this image, but if I go and get the transparency and move it here, you're going to see it's going to cover over that heart, which is at the back. Okay, so the transparency is basically covering. If I bring it here, it's showing more of what's at the back. So I am in real time using the transparency tool to create a sort of mask transparency area, and I can drop extra nodes in and everything. Okay, so let's go to the text. And again, this is a container. So let's see if that works. I'm going to do it from this side. There we go. Okay, so we're able to do it, or I can shift it across this way, and that works exactly there. Now we're going to come to this heart. If I'm busy adding this effect to a lot of stuff, I don't have to go and click here again. While I'm busy doing it, I'm done here. I let go of my mouse. I just come here, still retains, click the object, and then put the mouse down and do a drag. Okay, there we've got it. Come here, click here, and what do we expect? Because it's a pixel layer, nothing's happening. I'm dragging from all sides, nothing's happening. As I explained, this is now in a pixel format, and it's not inside a container. Okay, so as I said before, you do have to use actual masks on layers to influence that. But I'm going to show you a way in which you can take the pixel layer, convert it in real time into an image layer, and then apply this transparency to it. So if we go here, we're going to click here, try it out, also not working. So key here to notice is that a pixel image, something that's got a pixel attribute in it, and a generated image, which if we hover over here, you'll see it says generated image. They aren't actual containers that you can apply this to. So let's see if we're going to go back here. How do we change this into a image container and then be able to apply the transparency? Key here is you select and you go to layers. Under convert, you go to convert to image resource. Okay, so it's saying create this image container, and then you apply this transparency effect to the container. So I'm going to say convert it to image. Just look here, we've got that still on pixel layer, but watch what's going to happen. I'm going to click to image resource, and if we look over here now, look what's happened. It's changed to image. Okay, so that's how we convert it, and from now on, we can try the transparency tool. Okay, so let's head on to the transparency tool and apply it on here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, it can work now because we've converted the pixel into an image container. So let's try this with the image generated from AI and see if that will work. So we'll go there, go to pixel layer, not pixel layer, but the layers convert. And there's something weird happening here. You can't click the image resource. Okay? But dare I say it's not weird. It's just how the tool works. There is an extra step that you've got to put in to get this to be able to be converted into an image resource. And I know some of you might have got it already or not, but what you have to do is take this, convert this into a pixel layer, and then come and convert it into an image. Okay, because it's in an AI version which doesn't allow for these things. So what we do is we come to this image. This has been an AI generated image. We right click on it, and here we're going to go to rasterize. Okay, so we're going from an AI here to turn it into a pixel based layer. Click rasterize and look here. It's now pixel based. Once it's pixel based, we go to layers, convert, see there's it available to image resource. And now we have it here as an image. And now we can go and take our transparency tool and apply it effectively on that area. Okay, so that's just to show you that the transparency tool, a great tool, but you could get frustrated if you're working with an image that looks the same as the other thing, but not understand that they form different containers. So the key element is to, if it's in a pixel layer, is to then convert that using the layers convert to an image resource, makes it an image, then you can apply it. If it is AI generated, first convert it into a pixel layer by rasterizing, and then do this process, and then you have access to doing particular feature on it. Okay, so that's how it works, and I don't know if I've come across any other formats of images that one needs to do, but I think if you use the same principle of getting it and wrapping it up in an image container, you'd be able to do this transparency thing. If you can't do it at all and you've tried everything, then just create a mask layer and create a gradient on that to sort of mimic this transparency. Okay, hopefully that helps you, and have a blessed day, and shalom to everyone.